skies are like a tidal wave down on me. Walking alone on the coldest night. There's nothing I can ever say to change your mind. I gotta live without your love. We've said goodbye. There's nothing I can ever say to change your mind. I need to know if you'll give me a second chance. They don't come around often, but please, you know I can't stand it when you don't talk to me. When you don't talk to me. There's something inside. Yeah, there's something inside that brings me back to you. Yeah. No, I can't hide it. No, I can't hide it anymore.
Let's go. Okay guys, I want to give you a quick rundown of my current thoughts as they are. One thing I wanted to jump into first was I'm now redefining where that sweet spot for my bulk is currently. So obviously you knew I was eating between 4,400 and 4,600 calories per day last week, and I've now had to start to bring that down to 4,100 to 4,200 calories, just because I've got to the point where my body usually wants to maintain its weight, which means if I keep eating too much of a surplus, I'll be packing on a lot more fat than as my body started to rebound up to that maintenance weight. So now I'm being a little bit more conservative with my surplus and just putting enough in to gain around a pound of weight per week. Obviously I'll start to cut it down if I decide to go for a lean bulk approach, but for now I'm just gonna regular bulk for a bit and just see how my body reacts. If it starts to just be quite lean and not too much fat, then I'll probably stick with that method. If I get too fat too quickly, then obviously I'll go down the lean bulking route, because my end goal is to gain muscle, not just put on fat. Another thing, on Tuesday I changed or refined my benching technique. It was by accident, but basically I've gone from benching from bottom of my sternum to my top ab, and that was just basically because it felt better for me when I was benching off that top ab. My arms seemed to stay in a better position, I could set my shoulders a little bit better, and my arms weren't flailing all over the place like sometimes when I'm using heavy weights and I'm going from the top of the sternum, because they come out a little bit too much and it's not in a good position to actually press that sort of weight off. And on another note, I think I found another food that's not going to be great for me, and that is almonds, just because it seems to be whenever I'm intaking them or eating them, they start to irritate my throat. So one thing I'm going to do is leave them alone for a little bit and then have them by themselves and see how my body reacts to it. If it's not great, then obviously I'll take note of that, and then I'll look at the common symptoms or signs of allergies to that food, see if the two match up. If they match up, then I'll be completely eliminating it. If they don't match up but their effects still aren't great for me, then I'll probably just limit how often I have them and how much I have. Generally, this is how I sort of work to figure out if something's good for me or not. I can't advise whether or not you want to do it or not. That's your choice, but that's just the way I do it. That's sort of how I found and no longer really use oats, and that's because whenever I used to eat them, even if it was by themselves, they'd be burning my throat and I'd feel like doo-doo after eating them, or as my body starts to digest them as well. So I just sort of left that alone. So that sort of puts me in a weird position, because that's one of the most convenient carb sources I used to use, but if my body's not reacting to it properly, I don't really want to start intaking it. But getting back to training, I've managed to now start to get back to the point where I can get tunnel vision or in the zone. So the little place in my own head where nothing else matters except for what I'm doing, and I don't generally hear anything but the weights and the music and my own body, and I only end up focusing on myself and the exercise I'm doing. So I don't really see, hear, or really even acknowledge a lot of the people around me who are in the gym as well, because I'm so locked into me. What I mean by that is I could be working out in front of a mirror, say when I'm doing my front squats and stuff, and there could be people either side of me and I just wouldn't notice at all because I'm just focused solely on me, which is good because it allows me to go a little bit harder when I'm working out, because I haven't got any other distractions in the background, which is great. Anyways guys, if you're enjoying the video so far, can I get you to leave me a like by hitting that thumbs up button, subscribing whilst you're down there so you never miss another video, and I'll talk to you in a bit.
I need to know if you'll give me a second chance. They don't come around often, but please, you know I can't stand it when you don't talk to me, when you don't talk to me, yeah. There's something inside, yeah, there's something inside that brings me back to you, yeah. No, I can't hide it, no, I can't hide it anymore.
Okay guys, just want to give you a quick rundown of the week, so let's jump into it with weight like we usually do. So this week my weight's been between 79 to 80 kilos, so 174 pounds to 176 pounds. This is generally where my body likes to maintain its weight. So now I'm going to have to start being more strategic with my calorie surplus, which is why I've talked to you earlier about readjusting the sweet spot for my bulk. So now I'm eating roughly 4,100 to 4,200 calories. I'll put the actual number on the screen here, but I'm eating at this number so I can gain roughly half a pound to a pound of body weight per week, so that it's more likely to be more muscle and a little bit of fat, as opposed to a load of fat and a little bit of muscle. So on that note, my macros have been between 170 to 185 grams of protein, at least 400 grams of carbs, and 185 grams of fats. I'll put the actual number on the screen here, but I'm happy as long as I'm getting in at least 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight and at least 20 to 30% of my calorie intake from fat, just because this will put me in a position to optimize my hormones and my recovery. So moving on from there, I am now starting to get the bloated bulk belly, which is basically where I get very bloated after eating during my eating window. I'm generally a person who bloats very easily anyways. Some foods bloat me a lot more than others, and some foods don't really bloat me that much, but I bloat quite a lot in general, which is why I don't usually talk about it that much. So if I talk about being bloated generally, it's because I'm actually getting quite bloated, because I bloat more than the average person, which is one of the reasons I actually like intermittent fasting. Yes, I like the mental aspects and the fact that I can zone in and I'm super focused whilst I'm fasted. Yes, I like the health benefits, and I also like the fact that I get to eat bigger meals anyways, but I also enjoy the fact of not feeling super bloated whilst in my fasting window, because obviously I'm not eating, so I'm not bloating, so I feel comfortable. Whereas sometimes when I'm bloated, I just want to sit down for like half an hour, let the food digest, and then get back to what I was doing. So I just feel a little bit more productive whilst I'm fasting. And then moving on from there, I'm starting to accept the fact that I may be 1 to 2 bulks away from reaching the strength and physique goals I am aiming to achieve, in the sense of I've got my goals for this bulk, but I've got ones that will be further forward from that, and to reach them I'm accepting I may be a bulk to 2 bulks, like long bulking periods, as in 6 months plus each bulk away from reaching that. But obviously I'll wait to see what I look like after this bulk, and then the cut from that to see where I am. I may actually have reached it quicker than I think I will, but I'm setting a year to 2 years in terms of that's 2 bulking periods to actually reach that. So then I've got a realistic goal just in case I don't actually reach it at the end of this one. But again, we'll see where I stand at the end of this bulk, and then after the cut, and see where or what I need to do from there. Anyways guys, if you've enjoyed the video, can I get you to leave me a like by hitting that thumbs up button, subscribing whilst you're down there so you never miss another video, and most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.
Take me to Neverland.